Hello and welcome back to Space Engineers. My name is Rabenschild, and because I decided that the first model that I have built of my new rover isn't to my liking anymore, I started a new one, and that's how far I came. So because I don't want to wait anymore, we will use the first model and use this. So let me show you what I've built. It looks a bit like a boat. I kind of like it, but I kind of don't like it. So open cockpit because no windows, 2 drill and fill systems, 2 seats. I have some other things in here that I have turned off for now. One main thing that I didn't like about this is the balancing and the fact that I need far more power for this rover than I thought. So the batteries are good, but the batteries are constantly empty. Filling it up is just a chore. So because the fluid battery here on this base is broken at the moment, I need to repair that and then go in and maybe outfit this thing with fluid batteries, use them. But I'm constantly running into power problems. That's why I added a reactor here. This is now the planet itself, or the moon itself, is now basically a uranium mine. So we will use that a lot more. But you can see that I made an entrance. I can get in here, and we have a bit of storage. I have some stone dusters here because this thing runs full of stone relatively fast. I did some tests with the drill and fill systems because I want to start the tunnel into the next crater today. And because I don't want to do it over the next few weeks, I want to start it now, show you how I'm thinking we should do it, and then just get into it and work on it and hopefully break through, because it's 900 meters. That will take a while, especially with the height of the drill settings I've set. It will be troubling. We have to see how we can finish this. I don't know. I did a lot of stuff around in the world, also a bit on the station, a bit on the ship in orbit. So one main thing I'm working on in my head at the moment is how I want to continue with the base. So if we want to upgrade the base and maybe replace modules later, I would like to have some modules that are similar to these ones, but maybe bigger, and maybe go into a direction where I can how to say that, have a very modular base design, but go into direct connections and stuff like that. Have, for example, 4-way connectors that connect bigger base modules. I have to think about this. I also kind of want to go back to space and do some work there. Start a transfer base from Object 85 to here, Apollo crater. And one suggestion that came in for the base name is Tranquility Base, to give even a bigger nod to the Apollo program, because the crater that Apollo, the first Apollo 11 landed in, was, I think, Tranquility. That was the Mars something. So it's not Tranquility. So it has something to do with a crater name. It is basically the Sea of Silence or something like that in the end. But we will have to see if that is a good option.
No fuel.
Good. It says no fuel. We definitely have fuel. It has something to do with the batteries. I don't know what's up with that. Let us drive to the point where we want to start to drill. One problem that we have with the rover is that this rover definitely is, when it comes to steering, very unstable. You can see that I don't know, constantly do curves that I don't want to do, and hefty curves. I don't really know where that comes from. I try to bring a lot more weight to the front so that maybe the steering is not problematic. It could be the surface of the crater itself that makes problems. But we will have to see. So, what I have done is, let me turn that on. I've projected you can see that the area for the drill and fill systems far out into the distance. And what we will do now is stay back and then start to drill into the crater wall. I've made it very narrow, so it will take a while. It will take a while to drill out the area. I will have to make a step forward, then drill some more, make a step forward, and so on, and that for roughly 900 meters. I don't know why I always do this to myself, but having a tunnel into the next crater gives me the option to, then have there hopefully an area where I can drill and where I can get resources for the base. If we don't get, we only get 3 resources here basically, or 4. So we can get nickel, we can get iron from deposits, we get the stone that we can use to make also silicon, and we hopefully get uranium, and hopefully we get some good deposits in the next crater, and that will then be the area where we just go all out and just destroy the whole thing. So why did I project that out so far? I want to keep the curve of the planet going, or of the moon going. I wanted to show this off. So we are relatively close above the surface. We cannot go closer. This is a bit problematic because we have bumps in here, and the thing is, I could go deeper but then we would cut too much into the surface of the whole thing, and that is also something that I don't want. So on the other side, somewhere over there, I did a bit of test drilling. It worked out pretty well, and I hope that we can just go with this. But this may take a while, so that's also the reason why I'm starting a new rover, because with a new rover we can finally maybe get more drill and fills going, so that stuff like that might be faster. So I will start this, and then we don't know. I will wait a bit, work a bit on this, and then show you how this turned out in the end. So the thing is, we have to get the parking brakes off, drive forward a bit, drill a bit more, and then continue this. And I'm trying to go straight towards the GPS point that is on the other side of the wall. I'm trying to go straight towards it so that I in the end hopefully have a relatively straight tunnel. Good. Let me do some work. We will see how it ends up, and we might not be able to drive through this with the small rover. It might end up being too bumpy. Good. This might not be a really crazy long recording, or it kind of is, but it will not be. The episode, I think, will be really short. It's to get this out, I will have to I have to be really fast. So we did, let's see, we started from here, 923. We did roughly 40 meters, and this took 45 minutes. I'm not sure. I'm not absolutely sure how long it took, but this takes a long time with 2 drill and fill systems. So I've changed up the ship is out here because I had to change up the whole thing a bit. I have some more stone dusters. I have ejectors to just throw out the stone now. The system runs full of stone, and then it slows down even more. So this is just crazy. We will drive forward a bit. Okay, no fuel, everything's fine. And this should be good to do the next segment. So I'm trying to stay as straight as possible. It doesn't always work out, so the tunnel walls will be rather jagged, and I decided that once I arrive here, I will bring down the range of the drill and fill system, maybe a few meters back, so that I can drive up here and then continue up here and don't have to worry about the in-between here, because if I have something, or I could, I don't know, I don't know how to do it. I could up the range and then bring it down once I drive up here, or I could just bring in the range a bit to not have this bump. So because it could be that the rover ends up on this bump, has to drill into the ceiling, and then when it goes here it drills then straight, and I have to prevent that. So we will have to do something about this. So you can see this is the amount of drilling it does right now. I might bring up the area, but the problem is with the upped area, it will still take a long time to just continue here. The 900 meters could prove to be a long time. In the meantime, I'm not sure. I might work on the other rover a bit to get something else done. For now, I'm just going back and forth, taking a look how far it is, and then bringing the rover a bit forward. Maybe once I arrive somewhere here in the front, I will stop doing this. I'm not sure yet. This will take a long time. Although in Space Engineers the distances, so this feels a lot, I don't know, it's, yeah, we kind of got a lot done that I can just continue with now. The biggest problem that I have is that the rover needs to stay here now, so I need to bring in some more uranium so that the rover can just function continuously, because if I move it away from here now, I would have to fit the whole thing back in here, and not sure if that is viable all too much. What I could do is leave the rover there and then just move the drill and fill system. But again, I want to kind of get the curve of the moon. So it sounds dumb, but every time we walk here, we kind of go over a roundish area, and this rover should be able to just go with the roundish area and kind of continue the curve a bit, and the curve should continue through the tunnel. I know that with the voxels being jagged and bumpy and all that stuff, that might be not perfect, but we might end up at a good level point with this other point here once we arrive over there. And if we end up a bit too high, we just go in from the other side and smooth that out. Good. Yeah, the other rover kind of needs to be finished. Just pushing that thing in there and then continuing with that should be easier, and I can just go into the same distance here, so bringing it to the same numbers should not be too much of a problem. And if I have then 4 or maybe 6 drill and fill systems, that should be a lot faster. We will have to see, but this thing needs to work a bit more. Maybe we will make it a really short episode. So you saw what I wanted to do. I did something similar on Fundland, and yeah, we will go into that. I could talk a bit more because I kind of have to say something that I already talked about in the live stream on Thursday, that the whole issue with this copper and being family friendly without swearing, I could end up shooting myself in the leg with not saying some swear words sometimes, maybe mild ones. I don't know. I have to think about this. I need some. So I kept myself from swearing because I wanted to be family friendly, and I wanted to have the ability that children can watch the content without getting introduced to too many bad words from me. And now that could be a problem because I don't want to end up with having to set, or having some of my videos set to being for kids. I don't know. I have to really think about this. I think it's not a problem because the algorithms should see that my analytics show that no kids watch my series, but we will have to see how that works out in the end. So the thing is that I have the whole family friendly thing in my tags, and I might have to take that out of there. I don't know. This is so problematic. Talked about that with Nathan from Nathan's Sandbox a lot, and we discussed how this whole thing works and where the problems lie, and I don't know. Have to really think about being not too family friendly anymore. Finding a good in-between would be nice. Something where I can sometimes say a swear word that's maybe not too bad, but also being nice and at least a bit family friendly. I don't know. But I think that's all for today. This will be a really short episode. Hope you don't mind. But again, this needs a lot more work and a lot more doing, and I wanted to start this so that I can continue this over the next few days until I record the next time, and yeah, not have to hold back with working. I had the same thing with the Rover, that I kind of didn't hold back while building it, and again now I kind of ditched the idea that I had here. There needs to be something else. Don't know, maybe you like it, but the biggest problem is the power issue, and this thing needs power, so we need to work with your reactors here, and I'm yeah, it's not nice. So this thing can work now, can work this out, and we will build another one that maybe then can be used to drive resources back and forth. And then we will have to think about a way to unload our rovers. We could go for another crane or an overhead unloading rig. That's also a possibility. We will have to see how we do that. There were the typical suggestions of having something in the ground, or have a ramp that I can drive up and then unload it into collectors or connectors or something like that. We will have to see how we can do that in the end. Good people, I think that's all for today. Hope you liked the episode. If you did, please leave a like on the video. Hope to see you in the next one. See ya, guys.